are seeing such damage and destruction throughout Minneapolis and St. Paul. Things have gotten so out of control, it is hard to understand.
It's been a chaotic, at times violent day in South Minneapolis, turning into a situation unlike anything we've ever seen in our community.
From Chopper 5 up above, we can see the plume of smoke drifting towards downtown Minneapolis.
Started vandalizing the building, shattering a window, spray painting squad cars.
We are asking the governor, we're asking Mayor Fry, what is the plan here?
We saw people throwing rocks at police cars, at the precinct building.
This has gotten so out of control, it is definitely not a safe situation for anyone.
The tragedy would be if one of these dumpster fires spreads to one of those big apartment buildings or some of these homes, and then you can't get a fire truck down the street.
Please, Governor Walz, Mayor Fry, explain to us what the plan is.
We've seen protesters attacking police, defacing buildings, and looting from businesses.
The place is completely trashed. A lot of stuff has been hauled out of there. Sadly, no police presence in that area whatsoever.
I'm just so baffled. If this is being in charge, this is not a good look.
There is oil, there are chemicals, there are paints, all sorts of things that are combustible and that could really cause a huge explosion.
People are scared and people are angry and people want to hear from their governor.
If the governor and the mayor are not going to take care of this problem, people will. People will uprise over this.
This is a fail. I mean, this is an abject failure. I just don't think there's any other way to put it. You know, like I said earlier, the house is on fire. Will you please tell us if the fire department's on its way? I mean, is anything going to happen here? We're just going to let this burn.
So that was obviously Minneapolis, Minnesota, because we have to talk about the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, who has been picked to be Kamala's VP. Yeah, the VP has picked her VP. And, you know, I just want to introduce Mr. Tim Walz to you all, so you guys are familiar with who he is and what is at risk if this guy and Kamala Harris actually take office. Trust me when I tell you, you definitely don't want this to happen. Okay? And we'll start with this video clip here. You're just going to get more of what we've already seen in terms of the sanctuary cities and everything. And I'll let him tell you right out of his mouth.
Should Minnesota be a sanctuary state?
If the definition of that is that the federal government enforces immigration law and local law enforcement enforces local law, then yes.
Should cities be allowed to be sanctuary cities?
Yes, local control.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Illegals just get to come in. Locally, we handle it. Oh my goodness. But not only that, this guy's a proven liar as well. Check out him lying about Biden.
I've spent a lot of time with the president, and he's great. We're talking, we're chatting and all this. And I think, you know, we all get a little older. That's what happens. But you also gain that insight. And I think when it comes to these issues, working across the aisle to get things done, you see the president just doing this with dignity, doing it with class, getting up every day, doing the work. So I think he's just doing what he does. And I think it's kind of incumbent upon all of us. Look, my mom's 88, still living on the farm, drives herself. Folks are able to do this, so I think this little bit of ageism that goes to this, if it's not that, would be something else. They attack all of us on something. This is part of it.
So, a proven liar. Biden's great. Clearly he wasn't. Not even close. Biden is literally just a shell. Lights on, but nobody's home. But not only is he a liar, but, socialism, anyone?
But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
What? No thank you to socialism. I want no parts of it. Not even a little bit. Get it out of here. As far away from me as possible, please. ASAP. That is crazy talk right there. Not only that, but he takes it a step further than Sanctuary cities.
Knowing that he's not going to do anything. He talks about this wall. I always say, let me know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest in the 30-foot ladder factory. That's not how you stop this. You stop this using electronics. You stop it using more border control agents. And you stop it by having a legal system that allows for that tradition of allowing folks to come here, just like my relatives did, to come here, be able to work and establish the American dream. He's not interested in that. He wants to demonize. Look, we produce most of the turkeys that you're going to eat in Thanksgiving. Those are immigrants working hard, establishing themselves here. What's he going to do? Is he going to take them all out?
So illegals back up their turkeys. And the solution to the problem is sending more border patrol down so we can process people even quicker. Great. Not only that, but this guy has zero loyalty to this country. I mean, he literally changed the Minnesota flag to resemble a Somalian flag.
All right, ready.
Check this out. I mean, let me make this big so y'all can see it. All right.
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute. There, that's better.
Yeah. No thanks. This is America. Last time I checked. Oh my goodness. But like I said, guys, it gets worse, you know. Giving illegals license, that's coming too if he takes office with Kamala.
It's done.
A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made driver's license for all the law of the land.
Driver's license for all, the law of the land. So illegals can have a license. Great idea. Not. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic here. Oh, my goodness.
A society that does not put equity and inclusion at the center of it is certainly going to eventually come to the places where we're at. This is a moment of inflection. It's a moment of real change. It's a moment that those folks who are out there demanding this are not going to take a commission or a report. They're going to want fundamental change. And that is what I think, that's one of the exciting things in the midst of all this. You can feel a sense of optimism coming back.
You know, one thing that bothers me with all of this talk of equity, right? They make it sound and seem as if every family that is wealthy has always been wealthy, right? It's like punishing. Also, it's like punishing people's grandparents or, you know, their grandparents for starting up some kind of successful business and passing it down to the people that came behind them. Like, what? Why are we taking from the people that worked hard, put the time in, put the effort in, who sacrificed? Like, all of these rich families had to start somewhere. Okay? They haven't always been rich. I'm sure there might be one family, right, that's been rich for, you know, a very, very long time, like 1,000 years or something crazy. You could trace back their family, and they've always been wealthy. Maybe you'll have one, okay? There might be an outlier somewhere. I highly doubt that, right? You know, somebody who 500 years ago, you know, their great-great-great-great-great-grandfather started up some kind of business, and it's just the money from that business, and the business was passed down from generation to generation. At one point, somebody else started another business, and 2 businesses were passed down. Then the old business got shut down, and the new business that was started kept getting passed down, and then somebody else, you know, like the snowball effect, right? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't understand. Why are we punishing those people for that? Like, that's crazy talk to me. But not only is he pretty radical, to say the least, but so is his wife. Check out his wife.
And having a chance every day. Like, how many chances do you get? My answer to that is as many chances as you need, which doesn't really please those law and order people.
Yeah, she's talking about criminals. How many chances do you criminals need? As many chances as you need. What? Or how many chances do you criminals, should you criminals get? And she said as many chances as you need. No thanks. Miss Walz, Gwen Walz, I believe is her name. You've never lived in a hood. I can tell that. Because if you did, you would not be saying that. Oh no. As many chances. Sheesh. So yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy. I'm a little surprised that they didn't pick Shapiro. I felt like that was going to be her VP pick. I think it ultimately came down to the fact that he's Jewish, and the Democrat base would have, at least part of it, would have protested against that. And so obviously they go where the wind blows. They don't stand on anything. Democrats don't. Democrat politicians like Kamala especially. So she went where the wind was blowing, and it was blowing in a different direction. And so she didn't pick him. Even though one could argue that Shapiro would have been a better opponent for, against Trump and J.D. Vance. Tim Walz is relatively unknown, right? But now that he's picked, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to come out against him. Like what I just showed you. Because obviously Minnesota is not a very well-run place, as we have seen. And as I showed you in that first clip, and some of the pieces in that first clip, I'm going to have to blur out because, yeah, pretty wild. Fires and people looting and burning stuff and breaking in. Yeah, it's pretty wild in that first clip. So, yeah, this is her VP pick. Someone who may be even more extreme than she is, which is crazy to say. So it's safe to say we know what's going to happen if we don't win. And with all of the, information that's been put out there, the polls and everything else, we should win. The only way we lose is if we don't come out in the numbers that we should come out in. So if we lose, we have no one to blame but ourselves. I'm just going to be completely honest. We have nobody to blame but ourselves. We know they're going to pull out all the stops to try to win. So if you aren't working at a polling location, being involved in some kind of way, if we lose, it is our own fault. We should not be making any type of excuses. We know what we're up against. We've been through 2020. We know what we're up against. So there's no surprises. Okay? For me personally, I don't want to hear any excuses if we lose. I don't want to hear any excuses because there's no way we should, especially knowing who Kamala is and also who she just picked. That should motivate everybody even more to get out and do our part. Not only on election day, but before election day, getting involved with, why am I drawing a blank right now? Getting involved with, I'm thinking of Waltz, but that's not his name. Scott Pressler. Goodness gracious. I completely drew a blank. I could see his face, but the name was not coming. Have you ever tried to think of something and the harder you thought about it, it felt like the further, what you were trying to think about, went away from you? I had one of those moments. I was trying so hard to think of his name, and it was just it felt like it was just fading away farther and farther. But getting in, not only participating on the day of election day by voting, but getting involved with things like Scott Pressler's organization. That's a great way. Registering people, right? He'll get you going. Going to Michaela Montgomery's website to get involved as well. reposting these types of videos, sending them to your friends and your family, having tough conversations with your friends and family. I know sometimes it's tough. It's hard, but we got to have it. It has to be done. It has to be done. All right. So, let's get this W, baby. Let's make sure that, these folks don't walk into that White House again. And I mean Kamala not walking back into the White House, because obviously she's there already, which makes no sense why people would vote for change, because she's already in the White House. But anyway, yeah, y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.